So every year at Photokina, there is always some of the other new technology that is being launched or showcased. And this Photokina as well, we wanted to ensure that we bring to you some of the coolest things that were actually on display or a prototype or announcement at the show. My name is Bhavya Desai and this is Cool Tech at So by far, one of the coolest things that we found at the show actually is this prototype which is announced by Kodak Pix Pro, and this is called the Kodak 3D Pivot. Now ideally, this is interesting because it is the world's first 3D virtual reality camera, as to say. And how this works is there'll be two dual 20 megapixel sensors which will be side by side the way it is. So that will basically allow you to stitch together a file that can be viewed on 3D like using your 3D spectacles. Now this essentially is just a prototype and a mock-up. The release time, of course, we do not know when it's going to come, but it definitely is an extremely interesting tech. Also, apart from this, it has the capability of folding in, so it can give you a 360-degree angle of whatever you're shooting and whatever you're viewing. So the exact specs are still not available, as the representative of Kodak has just told us, but this is supposed to shoot 4K at 60 frames per second and will most probably have an aluminum body, which is much like what most of the Kodak cameras over here have. It is supposed to be shooting in micro SD card, but whether it will limit to a particular time limit or not, that's something that we cannot say at this point. But the announcement of this sort of a prototype makes this thing really cool tech, and it's one thing to for surely to watch out for. So the next thing that actually makes it on our list of cool tech at Photokina 2018 is what you see behind me. Is basically Bolt and Bolt Jr., who are the two robotic arms that Nikon has brought at the show. Now what is specific about these robotic arms is that they are able to provide high-speed motion filming up to 3 meters per second and 5 meters per second if you're required to shoot them. The reason is because it is very difficult for a human hand or a person to travel at this speed, and that makes what they do very interesting. In order to give you an idea about what actually they can do, we have shot a small film, and to see them in action, have a look at this. So earlier, we actually showed you the Kodak Pix Pro 3D Pivot, which basically was the world's first 3D 360 camera. But that is a proof of concept, and it seems that some things or some particular products in this category have already arrived. And that is this. This basically is the Views XR, which is a native 360 camera with two 12 megapixel Sony sensors on each side. But with the press of one button, this actually turns into a 180-degree 3D camera. So this now actually is two lenses working side by side on stereo, and this has the capacity to shoot 4K up to 30 frames per second. This is already available in the market, unlike the 3D, but this definitely makes it to our cool tech list. So the last thing which actually makes it to our cool tech in Photokina 2018 is basically the prototype of the new Phase 1 IQ4. So this actually features a whopping 150 megapixels, and this sort of technology and this sort of megapixel count has never been heard before in the industry. Now, if you see otherwise as well, the medium format cameras as well this year, whether it's the GFX 100, the development, including the prototype which we are seeing here right behind me, is showing us that a trend is in medium format is going all the way up in terms of the megapixel race, and it seems the megapixels are back. This actually has a lot of new features as compared to the IQ3, which means it has a USB-C type port, plus it also focuses XQD as well as SD cards. Apart from that, Capture One as a software, which is so important when you buy a Phase 1 camera, is also slightly, some portion of that camera is also part of the camera itself. So if you're in Photokina and if you're looking for something which is the biggest and the highest megapixel camera in the industry, then you gotta come check this one out. So that has been our list for the cool tech at Photokina 2018, and I hope that you like this video. We basically will be doing a lot more, which is in the next few days as well. So if you like this video, then make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And until next time, happy viewing.